people they totally buy an emotion, okay? That's whether we're selling a big software package, whether we're selling to an individual, whatever it is, all decisions are made based on emotions. And then we justify those decisions with logic. A lot of times we get that twisted. This group, we haven't gotten that twisted. We understand that, right? I need to figure out how to connect with this person, this individual, this business unit, this company at an emotional level. I need to get them to share with me at an emotional level because they're going to make decisions based on emotions. They want the company to do well. This person wants to get a promotion. They're afraid that the company is not going to do well. They're afraid that they're not going to get a promotion. We've got to zero in on those emotions. So if we've established that emotions are vital for us to get a sale, well, let's think about what the most powerful feeling is, what the most powerful human emotion is. It is pain, okay? And pain can be a good thing. Let me explain. What do I have here? Frying pan, right? Some of you guys are like, why the heck is Matt holding a frying pan? I am holding a frying pan because people make decisions based on emotions, and one of the strongest emotions out there is pain. And let me just tell you a quick story. So I was training jiu-jitsu with a guy that trains with us normally. It's easy for me to notice it because he's always choking me out and his hands are in my face. He has a horrible, I am talking as bad as it can be, burn. I'm surprised he still has a pinky. His pinky is burned on this side of his pinky beyond belief. Why is his pinky burned so bad? His pinky is burned. Frying pan had something to do with it. But when he was a small child, his finger got cut. They were able to save the finger, but unfortunately, he has no feeling. It's a fine pinky. It functions fine. He has no feeling in that pinky, okay? Unable to feel pain. You would think that's a good thing, right? Not being able to feel pain. Not so. He was cooking a number of years ago. Pinky was on the bottom, holding a pan, not realizing there was a flame over here on this side, just sitting there cooking his pinky away. And it wasn't until the other finger started to get burned that he was like, ow, ow, okay? So I want you to realize that feeling pain is a good thing. And if we're gonna help our prospects, if we're gonna help the organizations we're working with, we need to help them feel pain. So I want to talk to you guys just for a few minutes about how we can improve our questions so that our prospects, our customers, the companies we're working with, so we can get them to feel that pain. We can get them to relive maybe the pain of working with another company, relive the pain of not having this particular solution. Far too often in sales, it's all show up and throw up for us, right? Hey, let me walk you through a demo. Let me give you a great presentation. If I could just have 15 minutes, I'm going to bring in one of my solution development representatives. They're really good on the software. They're going to walk you through all of our really cool dashboards and you're going to love it and it's great, okay? There's a time and a place for you're going to love it and it's great. But if you really want to make sales, especially in the economy that we're living in right now, you've got to help that person relive their pain. And again, I'm not saying this because I want us to be jerks. I'm not saying this because I want us out there being super negative and ruining our customer's day. I'm saying this because just like my friend with the frying pan, how many of them don't have any feeling or have lost the feeling and they're getting burned? It's our job to remind them that, hey, there's some painful stuff going on so they can, ow, take their hand off the burner and we can start to make it feel better, okay? So what are some of these questions? And a lot of them are in the portal. I want to just go through these for a few minutes. I want to remind you, if you have your sword and shield, take some notes. These are huge, okay? First one, to help somebody relive that pain. First one, to get them really thinking about the true problem and not just your solution and what it costs. Unpack that for me. Right? Hey, you know what, Matt, we're having some problems with reporting. Unpack that for me. Well, you know, Mike, he was our old VP of sales. He wasn't able to get the reports in consistently. He was one of my best friends at the company. We had to let Mike go, right? Unpack that for me. Nobody is going to share with you what's really going on in their organization, what's really going on in their company, what's really going on with them and them emotionally, at the first, they're never going to say that. Okay, what's our biggest reason for having this meeting? Oh, we want to look at the reporting feature, right? They're never going to, well, I'm really freaked out because Mike just lost his job and I might lose my job. Unpack that for me. You know what? We're concerned about reporting. Unpack that for me. We're concerned about our current solutions performance. Unpack that for me. I'm concerned about the person that runs my billing for our practice leaving. Unpack that for me. What's going on there? You're going to find they're going to start to relive that pain. Tell me more about that. Right? You know what? We've got some concerns on our relationship with our current vendor. Tell me more about that. Right? Far too often we jump in and we keep talking. We've got some concerns about our current vendor. Yeah, it's Acme. Everybody has concerns about Acme. Tell me about it. I heard 15 concerns about Acme last week. We try to be the smartest person in the world. Just slow down. Tell me more about that. Or how about this one? Write this one down. Why is that? Why is that? Again, you as a sales pro, if I've been coaching you every week, which I have been, you're super smart, you're brilliant. But you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. And even if you are, it's not about proving to that other side, that customer, that client, that you're so smart. It's about getting them to relive their pain. So even though you know that your reporting module solves this problem and every logistics company in the world has this problem, might be a good idea, even though you already know the answer, to, tell me more about that. Why is that? Get them to walk them through it. Even though you already know the story, you've heard it 1,000 times, get them to walk you through it, okay? We have to ask better questions to get them to talk. Far too often, we give some sort of pitch. We have some sort of meeting. And then we bring in maybe some support from the rest of the team. And when we do that dog and pony show, we're all going to do the talking. At some point, if you want to close more sales, you've got to get the other people talking. Let me give you another great one. You know, hey, Tony, can you give me a specific example so I can understand this better? Hey, Monica, can you give me a specific example of what's going on so I can understand this better? Here's why we don't say that. And the more money we make, the less likely we are to say that. You want to know why? You think it's about you having to be the smartest person in the room. And we don't have the courage, we don't have the guts to go, you know what, Monica, can you give me a specific example so I can understand that? Because we want our prospect to think that we know everything and that we understand everything. But when you can flip the script mentally and go, wait a minute, it's not about me proving to Monica that I know everything about sales training. It's about Monica walking me through step by step by step. It's about Monica reliving that pain. Ow, when she got burned. Right? It's about taking Monica back in time so that Monica could go, well, you know, I didn't make my numbers that I wanted to make and I had this great, can you give me a specific example of that? Yeah, I had this deal and I thought everything was going great and they really liked me and it was a warm referral and for some reason I just didn't know what to say to close the deal and they haven't called me back and it's been 6 months. 6 months? Unpack that for me. Why is that? Right? Walk them through. Can you give me a specific example? I want you guys to have the courage to not have to feel like you're the smartest person in the room. Not one doctor that gets those awards for being a great doctor walks into a patient's room and goes, I know exactly what's wrong with you. I'm the smartest person in the room. Let me tell you, bump, 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 bump. Right? Those doctors are terrible. They should all quit. They should all retire. It's the doctors that are like, David, can you give me a specific example of when that burning is going on? Is it when you swallow water? Is it when you swallow food or both? Right? Even though that doctor knows what's going on with David, we've got to get them to start talking. Okay? Here's a great lead-in phrase. Can you go over with me, blank. David, can you go over with me how you guys are doing reporting now, right? Let's say you've got a competitor in your industry and you know there's a weak spot, right? What most of us do is we go, oh, with you guys working with Acme, my guess is you're pretty upset about how they won't let you bring new individual users on, and you have to buy it packages and seats, right? That's super annoying. Hey, David, can you go over with me? Let's say you guys hire 1 or 2 new associates. Can you go over with me how you onboard those associates into the CRM that you're using, or whatever it is? Can you go over with me? That's a terrific lead-in phrase. Along those same lines, David, can you walk me through? David, can you walk me through how you guys are doing logistics, how you guys are adding new suppliers to the logistics chain through your technology right now? Can you walk me through, Monica, can you walk me through how the office is handling this when a patient does not show up for their appointment? Brad, can you walk me through what you guys are doing for advertising right now? Again, we try to be a know-it-all. It's not about us being smart. It's about allowing our prospects to step by step walk us through and relive that pain. When was the last time that you lost something? Your car keys, your wallet, and there was a friend, a family member, a loved one nearby. If they were smart, like my wife is, what did they say? Matt, can you walk me through? We know that you had your wallet when you ordered the Chinese food. Can you walk me through exactly what you've done since then? It works every single time. I literally can't help but have an experience in my head and start thinking, okay, well, I walked upstairs to feed the fish, and then I went on Amazon, but I didn't need my wallet for that. Oh yeah, I went into the gym and did a SoulCycle ride. Bam, there's my wallet, right next to the SoulCycle, right? We've got to get our prospects to talk more. Here's another great one I want to give you guys. Write this one down. Can you describe for me what you meant by blank? And none of us have the courage to ask this, right? Our current, the reason why we're looking at you guys is with the economy and everything, we got to save some money, and we're paying way too much money for Acme. Every fiber in a normal sales rep's being is like, tell me about it. We are so much less expensive than Acme, and we've got some pricing tiers that blow them out of the water. If you could just give me 5 minutes, I'll walk you through our pricing, right? Slow down. Can you describe for me what you meant by? We're looking at you guys because we're on with Acme right now, and it's so much money. We're paying way too much money for Acme. Can you, just out of curiosity, Monica, can you describe for me what you meant by paying too much money? Well, I mean, the end-all invoice is too high, and where the real problem is when we're going to add new users, we have to buy them in 20 user blocks, and we haven't hired 20 people like ever. You haven't hired 20 people. Yeah, we hire people in 1s and 2s. Walk me through that then. What do you have to do? Well, what we have to do is we have to buy a 20 user pack, right? And then hopefully we remember that we did that, because 4 times in the last year we haven't remembered that. I was one of the people that didn't remember this. Very embarrassing. And I bought a new package. So now we're at 40 users and we don't need them. It's just a total cluster, and it's embarrassing for me, right? You can get them to walk you through. Don't just stop at that face value. Another great one, okay? Can you describe for me what you meant by? Can you describe for me what you meant by? We want to have them to have a visceral experience. And I wrote this down, okay? Merriam-Webster Dictionary. It's the definition of visceral is you feel it internally. You feel it inside. You feel it to your core. If you can start getting your prospects to say things and to re-experience things viscerally, you're going to get a lot more out of them, right? Here's a great one. David, can you explain to me in more detail so I can better understand? Monica, can you walk me through in detail so I can better understand? It's not necessarily for me to better understand. What I want is Monica to walk me through in detail how she brought on a new associate. They didn't get up to speed with sales training, and she had to fire that person, and dang it, she loved having them. She had the highest hopes in the world for them. But she couldn't afford to keep them around if they weren't closing business. That's a lot better than Monica just saying, you know, we need sales training for our team. Monica, could you explain to me in more detail what you meant by you need sales training for the team so I can better understand? Right? Well, I had somebody that I really had high hopes for, and I had to let them go. Unpack that for me. Right? Now you get them to talk, get them to relive. Explain to me so I know how that affects you. It's so huge. And for my software folks out there, David in the UK, right? This is so hard for us to remember. David's probably doing a good job of this. It's hard for us to remember, especially when we're selling a service or something like software or a high ticket item, that there's people on the other end of this, right? So David, can you explain to me what's going on with the reporting right now so I can know how that affects you? So I can know how that affects you. What I want to get is I want to get to that prospect talking about how this is affecting them, their department, how it's making them afraid. How long has that been going on for? Right? How long is that? Oh man, this has been going on for 3 years. 3 years? Can you help me understand how you guys have dealt with this for 3 years? What's involved with making this work? What's the impact of that? Write that one down. What is just out of curiosity, and remember, you can ask any question in the world without seeming pushy or without seeming you're prying, by putting just out of curiosity in front of it. Just out of curiosity, David, you had mentioned that there's no mobile app right now, or just out of curiosity, you had mentioned that I think you had said 34%, if I wrote it down correctly, of your patients are not showing up to their appointments. What's the impact of that? It costs us top line revenue. Got it. And can you describe for me, when you say it costs you top line revenue, so I can better understand, can you walk me through a specific example of a patient not showing up for their appointment and kind of how that affects the organization and ideally the impact of that on you personally? Now you're getting them talking, right? Walk me through what you meant by that. Tell me more about that. And here's a great one. Here's a great one that we don't have the courage to ask. You ready for this one? You want that prospect to have a visceral experience. You want them to really feel the pain that they're in right now. Maybe they're getting a lot of nonsense from a competitor of yours who's not been through the Easton University training and is just showing up and throwing up. Walk them through a deck. Hey, if we could have 5 minutes of your time, we're going to show you how we'll save you money, increase your revenue, right? And by the way, don't go with you know who, because they're terrible. You need to sign up with us right now because we've got a promotion. Yeah, hey, that's interesting. Why do you think they told you that? Boom. Nobody ever asked that. Well, you know, we're thinking about staying with our current. We're thinking, I really appreciate all your time. I really appreciate you guys and all the effort you made flying out and the demos and everything. But we did talk to our rep at our current company, and they said that, you know, if we're able to re-sign right now with them, they're going to give us a 20% discount. Got it. Hey, just out of curiosity, why do you think they told you that? They don't want to lose our account. Yeah, unpack that for me. Why don't you think they want to lose your account? Well, because they haven't been delivering, and the reporting feature really does not work. So I think they're trying to make up for the fact that we're not getting what we need by giving us a discount. When you say you're not getting what you need, could you walk me through a specific example of how that's affecting you? Yeah, so I'm having to have my assistant, Monica, run all of the reporting manually. How much time is that taking Monica to do that? It's about 3 hours once a month. What's the impact to Monica on that? It's not her favorite thing. Now you're getting them to talk. Far too often, our prospect will say something like, well, the competition, they said they're going to give us 20% off, and we say what? Hey, let me call David Linford, my VP, if I could match that, would you do business with us? You can always say that at any time, but don't say that right then. Get them to feel the pain. You know, our current vendor said they'll give us 20% off. Just out of curiosity, Why do you think they told you that? Okay, I'm going to leave you with one last one. Describe for me blank. Describe for me how you guys onboard new vendors. Describe for me what you're doing now with 30% of your patients not showing up for their appointment. Describe for me how you guys are handling advertising right now with cost per click. I think it's gone up 56% and lead quality has gone down. Describe for me how you guys are handling that right now. All right, so I gave you guys a ton of these. I'm hoping you wrote them down. Can anybody give me some examples of using any statements like this or statements similar to this and how that gave you a much better meeting with your clients? The world of sales has completely changed. Today's customer has access to more information. Today's customer has more choices. The business world needs you. Studies have shown that 84% of salespeople fail to achieve their goals. The old sales training, well, it just doesn't work today. I'd like to teach you how to take the stress out of selling in a way that's meaningful to you and your customers and get you 7 times more business. I'll show you how the perfect sales process works. I'm gonna walk you through everything from prospecting to closing the deal. I'm gonna show you how to determine your prospects' wants and their needs so you can build value in your solutions. You will learn how to handle any objection or complaint. I'm gonna show you how to connect with your customer so it's easy for them to buy from you. I've taught the best companies in the world and thousands of people just like you how to hit their targets. Selling is complicated. I'll simplify it for you. There's more competition than ever before. I'm gonna show you how to be number one. All of a sudden, your career is gonna make perfect sense, even if you've never worked in sales or the corporate world before. And for the advanced sales professionals, I'm gonna show you how to take things to the next level. Easton University is a new, simple, step-by-step process that's effective in any industry, large or small. You are about to become a certified master sales consultant. I'm Matt Easton, and this is Easton University.